Welcome to my top 10 video games. I've excluded titles from the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo consoles. These are the modern games, explosive, immersive, exciting, modern titles. Let's jump right into it. At number 10, Prey. This is a first-person shooter. You take on the role of a Native American fellow. He is battling with his cultural inheritance and deciding whether he wants to stay on the reservation when extraterrestrials show up and they kidnap his grandfather and his girlfriend. You have to go on board their ship and try to unravel the mysteries. It's really fun, and it's got that sci-fi element that does it for me. At number 9, we have Fallout 3. Another science fiction title in the post-apocalyptic universe. A very exciting first-person game, known to everyone. Really doesn't have to really be a lot said about Fallout 3. It's kind of low on the list because it was not so much weird extraterrestrial as it was mutants and quirky humor. And I like the more unsettling sci-fi elements that you can find in some of the games that are later on this list. Number 8, Alien Isolation. The dread, the sense of helplessness is all there. It's very well done. There's a suffocating hopelessness that you feel as you scramble for equipment, and I think that it's a really good masterstroke in the horror genre. I've not beaten it, and I've become frustrated a couple of times. It's a difficult game, a lot of drudgery. They've really made it very thematic with the hopelessness you feel. And the first time, well, I don't want to give anything away, but it's really fun. I love the Alien universe. Some of my favorite movies of all time, Alien 1 and 2, and they did a really brilliant job with that franchise. Number 7, Doom 3. Okay, now we get into the sci-fi that I'm into. Scary, dark, dreary. You can almost hear the moisture dripping from the metal areas of the Martian base that you're on. It's incredibly good and very solid Martian. The gap's distracting me. It really puts me there. It feels like you're on a Martian base. The creatures that are coming out of this other realm are the result of some experiments that a quasi-governmental agency have been. They've been trying to develop weapons, and so in their efforts to create teleportation systems, they've somehow opened a pathway into another universe, and then all these creatures start coming out, just like this creature right here. Alright, number 6, Wolfenstein, The New Order. Alright, the early round of first-person shooter games like Doom and Wolfenstein 3D, I played them on the computer, and I was a fan of them then. I mean, back then they were mind-blowing to be able to run around in this environment, and I was always excited by that kind of stuff, and they took that franchise and did something incredibly awesome with it. The cutscenes are good. They drop you into a world that feels very real. The enemies are all pretty cool, and the challenge level ramps up. And I think that it's an excellent addition to the classic franchise and a really good example of updating something for the modern mind. Alright. A lot of first-person shooters on this list, I admit it. We come now to number 5, Oblivion. I'm definitely a sucker for medieval-style games. I played Oblivion after I played Skyrim, and it drops you into a vast medieval world. You can develop your character however you want using the skills of sword and board, or magic, thievery skills, and ranger skills, and it's a very vibrant, exciting world. It's probably the very best fantasy universe that's been built in a computer world. So much attention to detail, a very lush environment, dank dungeons, evil creatures, good story, and I mean, the first time I like trekked up one of the mountains near the main city and just looked down into the valley, it's so mind-boggling how immersive this stuff is. I have been completely sucked in by these games, and I feel very, very fortunate that I live in this age where computer software can take you to completely foreign lands and flesh them out so much that it seems very, 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 very real. Number 4, Quake 4. I was a big fan of Quake way back in the day, and its contemporaries, those early first-person games. This was around the time Halo had just come out, and people were still playing GoldenEye, and first-person Capture the Flag and deathmatch-style games were just coming out. And I really love what they did with the Quake 4 campaign mode. Doom 3 had some problems. You couldn't do like a melee attack, and there was no way to like aim down the sights. Quake 4 is much more of a it's a much better shooter because you have all the familiar and comfortable methods at your disposal to dispatch your foes. It's got great enemies. It has this outer space base feel where you're on this spaceship. You're manipulating this awesome sci-fi world, and it just puts me there. And the graphics aren't great by today's standards, of course, but it still has just enough of a sci-fi edge and more of that contemporary shooter feel that easily lands a spot right there in my top 5. Number 3, Mortal Kombat 9. Or just Mortal Kombat, the modern Mortal Kombat right before Mortal Kombat 10. And I've noticed that this is the only game that's not a first-person shooter on my list. First or a third-person game. Mortal Kombat, the arcade cabinet came out when I was in middle school, and it was at a convenience store in my town, and I would spend the night at my friend's house, and we would go there and spend all day playing the game. And then when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, I memorized every special attack and every fatality for every character, and I made a fan magazine called the Mortal Kombat Times, and I love the hyper-violent, hyper-real, explosive combat system. I got to be pretty good at it. One of my proudest moments of the last several years, I was at a party, and we were playing Mortal Kombat 9. I've been practicing, and I beat everybody in the house dozens of times. And then this whole new group of people came in the house for the party. It was a pretty big party, and they were all crowded around the TV, and none of them could dispatch me. I was Reptile all the way. My 2 favorite characters are Reptile and Baraka, but I like a lot of the characters. When Mortal Kombat 3 came out, it was a little different, and I had already kind of gotten out of video gaming. Actually, after the PlayStation 1, I took a long break from modern video gaming. I was in college and stuff like that. I didn't really have time to stay to keep up with things. So only a few years ago did I get an Xbox 360 and find out about all these incredible games and play them all finally. And it's been so much fun. But Mortal Kombat, the story of the new games, like the cutscenes, is so cool to see everybody. Like, I love the movies when they came out, and it is an extremely well developed, dangerous and gritty and horrifying world. It's so cool. So many of those characters, I feel like I grew up with them. Like, I feel like it's a part of my cultural heritage. Mortal Kombat is a huge deal to me. It always has been, and I love it so much. Like, I can spend hours on Wikipedia reading about the backstories of the characters and stuff. It's great. It's great. Number 2, Mass Effect 2. I tried playing the first game and gave it up. And I've started the third one. But Mass Effect 2 is that perfect blend of modern futuristic sci-fi, and Commander Shepard is great. The story's great. The fighting is great. I love taking control of the reins and manipulating this world, and they've developed it so well. I think that it is right up there with Star Trek and Star Wars. And had Mass Effect been like a serialized TV program or a set of movies that was a part of the, a big part of movie going over the decades, it would be just as popular. I mean, it's like, it really is on par with all of the fascinating, awesome sci-fi TV that we've all grown to love. And just to be there interacting with it, this is the thing about video games. You're right there, and every discovery you make, and every avenue you go down, and every exploratory step you take just draws you deeper into the storyline. And the graphics are so good, the universe is so cool, everything is so well developed, and I loved Mass Effect 2. I know it's right in the middle of the trilogy, and I do want to play the first and the third games to see, the story arc in its complete form. But it is so good. I would play Mass Effect again right now. It is beautiful. I love the design of the aliens. I think the weapons are awesome. The combat system is cool, even though it's not first person. It's its own thing. I love it. Mass Effect. Universe is a premium science fiction universe. Number 1, Skyrim. Easy. Like I said, I hadn't played video games in, it might be a decade. I don't know. I just abandoned them. There was so much other things going on. But then when I jumped back into modern video gaming and played Skyrim, I mean, that was the tipping point. It was expansive. It was vast. There were so many nights I was just walking around in that universe, looking up at the sky, looking around at everything. I didn't even know you could fast travel. So I would walk everywhere I went. And every step was like it was firing off my dopamine and serotonin in my brain. It was so good. So many late nights of wandering around in that world and being completely immersed in it and enjoying every ounce of that game, every second of it. I had explored the world so much that by the time I went back and actually did the main quest, everything was super easy because I just struck off and covered as much of that map as I could. And it's so awesome to be dropped into a world where you can go out and explore it and find yourself in situations where you really feel like you're there. Like there's a real blurring of the modern mind and the layers and layers of stress that can accompany real life. You jack into this world and it all goes out the window. It is so immersive and it can be so fulfilling. And it's great, and it's so important for the modern person to satisfy their desire for entertainment and novelty by experimenting with video games, because they've given me such good experiences. I love video games. I'm glad to share this list of my top 10 video games with you, and I'll probably do a top 10 classic games too, because Nintendo and Super Nintendo pretty much defined my childhood. So thanks for watching.